more than a generation ago, a popular movie, The Graduate, immortalized this season and the genre of commencement advice with one word, and you know it, say it with me, plastics. As if everything, life's challenges and its perils would be vanquished or at least tamed if the graduate would pursue, uphold, and cherish that simple goal. That single word was held out as the key to success. From politicians to celebrities, historians, and authors, each year, prominent people are invited to share the wisdom of their life lessons with graduates who are eager for a taste of the real world. In an address that was once erroneously attributed to Kurt Vonnegut comes the forward-looking advice, which in its time was regarded as a bit ludicrous. Here it is. Always wear sunscreen. Right? Brilliant. And Ruth Westheimer has instructed, be like a turtle, meaning don't be afraid to stick out your neck. Appropriate insight from a Holocaust survivor. A popular entertainer, which some of you may recall, Milton Berle, said, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door, meaning learn to adapt to your circumstances. And other graduates heard these words, failure is but the cloak that success sometimes wears. In recent years, the most often cited phrases include things like life balance, resilience, passion and tenacity, challenge, opportunity for service and responsibility, fear and change. And less than a decade ago, Elie Wiesel spoke to young grads about fanaticism as one of the greatest threats to society today. And he concluded his talk by highlighting the importance of faith. Now that's prescient. According to the writer George Saunders, one reason these speeches are so popular and remain so is that they resonate as much with parents as with their children. In those ceremonial occasions, everyone pauses. The parents pause to say, wow, I can't believe my kid is graduating. And the kids pause because they are about to leap into a new situation and they're not quite sure what to expect. Today's portion, Shalach Lecha, is just such a turning point. It's a commencement of sorts, though it lacks the caps and gowns and mortar boards. And yet it is a revealing and important time because the Israelites have not had any daily experience that is remotely, and I'll put this in quotes, normal. And this taste of the future will be a harbinger of what they can expect. Their future success hinges on this moment of growth. So before they receive the tassels that are mentioned at the very, very end of the Parsha, signifying their readiness for the next chapter, we call them, I will display, tzitzit. The Israelites are to scout out the land their ancestors had been promised, the destination of their dreams. And their responsibility is to look into the future, report back to Moses, to Aaron, and the entire community. Like all adventures, this one starts out on a positive note. In calling representatives from all 12 tribes, Moses brought them forward. Shammua ben Zakur, Shaphat ben Hori, Caleb ben Yefuneh, until he reached Joshua the son of Nun. One by one they stepped apart from their proud and worried tribes to take their place front and center. And rather than advice per se, this is what Moses instructed. Go up there, into the Negev, and on into the hill country, and see what kind of country it is. Their answers would account for more than a semester's grade, but for their very own future. And no matter what news they brought back, Moses would be better prepared for what was ahead. 12 men went forth, and 12 returned, and they all saw and heard the same things. But how they interpreted their experiences made all the difference in their report. Call it peer pressure or group think. 10 of the 12 returned with identical impressions. The land does flow with milk and honey. However, the people are powerful and the cities are fortified. These 10, this minion of leaders, all agreed with each other. So you have to ask, is it a coincidence? Or does it make good sense because they had a shared experience? More advice gleaned from the commencement files urges, graduates, don't be a second-rate copy of someone else. Be your best self. And we might ask rhetorically here, were those best selves identical? Part of the promise made to our ancestors was to be brought into this land flowing with milk and honey. Yet each one of the 10 only saw the obstacles. Just as that famous word plastics thrust the new graduate into his future ripe with potential, the qualifier, however, held this group back. Fear overrode their trust. Like all who stand on the precipice of uncertainty and change, it is exceedingly hard to look into the future with confidence. But 2 scouts, Caleb and Joshua, spoke with a distinctly different voice. If the Lord is pleased with us, they said, then God will bring us into that land. Faced with the very same facts as the other tribal leaders, they interpreted them in a different way. Of the dozen scouts, these 2 remember the promise made to our ancestors, and what's more, they anticipated its fulfillment. Which one is the truth? The Eitz Chaim commentary notes, a belief in God can help us to do what we find hard to do unaided. It can banish a sense of futility and restore one's will. Reason upon reason could be given as to why the land could not be conquered. Yet Caleb and Joshua took up the challenge and persevered. Confidence and hope, these are the tools of faith that Caleb and Joshua embraced. And now I want to return to the advice that Elie Wiesel once offered to those who were in between 2 worlds, the familiar past and their uncertain future. Wiesel said that though he personally quarrels with God, and he cannot know whether God is upset by this or not, he still doesn't want to break the chain that links him to his parents and grandparents and earlier generations. And that is why he holds on to his faith. As Shalach Lecha draws to a close, the graduates of this portion received tzitzit, their tassel, their fringes, to be worn as reminders. We are instructed, look at them and recall all of the commandments of the Lord and do them. Journeying to our personal promised land may yet require a unique combination of hope and confidence as a prerequisite. As we walk across life's stage, those qualities are essential in what we hope to achieve, what we expect from others, what we believe that we can contribute. But our efforts have no efficacy without faith as a constant reminder. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may that be so.